Let's talk about the economy. $15.3 trillion national debt. It is not sustainable. Not long ago, we had someone talk to us at the meeting of the National Association of State Treasurers, and he began his discussion by saying, how many of you are familiar with the works of Jorge Santayana? Any of you? I thought I saw a hand going up. I've never seen a hand go up, so you shocked me there. Well, if you've never heard of Jorge Santayana, and by the way, neither had any of the 50 state treasurers, Jorge Santayana is a historian and a philosopher. And when we were looking at each other going like, who's Jorge Santayana? The speaker said, well, how many of you have ever heard the expression, those who fail to learn the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them? That was Jorge Santayana. That was his famous quote. The Economist started out by saying, I give you that quote today to start with this. No nation in the history of the world has ever done what the United States of America is doing right now without suffering the effects of hyperinflation, defined as an inflation rate of greater than 100% per year. Such inflation rates destroy standards of living. Often they destroy governments itself. Governments have only two ways to pay off their debt. They can combine the two. They can either print more money. We used to say print money, now it's they just hit a button, digitize it into existence. Or they raise taxes. Now, if you do nothing else and you just start raising taxes, you're going to further kill the economy. Mr. Obama would like to have us believe if we just tax the rich, Here's the great myth. And again, where are the Republicans saying what I'm about to say to you? Last year, well, let's go back 1 year to the tax year 2010. If you confiscated at a 100% tax rate the wealth of every American who earned more than $250,000 a year, in other words, once you make $250,000 a year, the government takes every penny of it, whatever else is above $250,000. If the government had done that for all the people who raised $250,000, the moment they raise it, the government takes every penny from then on. It would have taken in about another $280 billion into the United States Treasury. That's a lot of money. If we changed nothing else, that means 70 days of each year, starting on January 1st of the new budget year, for the next 70 days we would have a balanced budget. But after 70 days of filling the gap, that $280 billion is gone, and now we're back to spending each day $4 billion more than we take in. That's what we're doing today, $4 billion every day. Numbers are staggering. People can't picture a truth. Let me try this. Let's say you stop at the Office Depot or the Staples on the way home this morning, and you need 1,000 sheets of paper. Depending on the exact weight of the paper, the 1,000 sheets is 4 inches tall. Looks about right. 1,000 sheets. How tall would the stack be if it were 1 trillion sheets? The answer? 63,130 miles. That's the difference between 1,000 and 1 trillion. And we have a $15.3 trillion debt. The only way, we cannot raise taxes enough to do this. We cannot print money and otherwise destroy our currency in doing it. The only way we solve our problem is to grow the economy. We have to be hitting at least 3.5% growth in our GDP each year. And the only way that's going to happen is to roll back government regulations, to roll back taxes on businesses and individuals, because when you roll back taxes, invariably government ends up taking in more money because there's more prosperity. Even though the rate's lower, more money in total flows to government. Something else we have to do. We have to broaden the tax base. You know, one of the things we have to do to broaden the tax base is to go to a consumption tax. Why do I believe that that's a national sales tax? Now, that's not to say every penny of income the government gets should be from the national sales tax, but we have to have at least some portion of it as a consumption tax. Why is that important? Because last year, 47% of all American households paid nothing in federal income tax. Nothing. Now, they paid Social Security, perhaps, but they paid nothing in income tax. How big do you suppose they care government has to be? 4 cents. Let me try it again. Do you think they care how big government grows? Why? Because they're not paying for it. They don't have any skin in the game. That's why we need to go to some form of a national sales tax. It's also why we need to have a balanced budget that says that we don't spend more than some set percentage of the gross domestic product. You can't just balance the budget to a bunch of politicians and say, okay, we're going to have a balanced budget. As costs go up, well, we'll just raise taxes, and then the budget's balanced. Well, let's go up, we'll just raise taxes. You can't do that. You got to limit government. I don't just want to say it, I want to fight to do it.
Yes.